Speaker, thank you very much for acknowledging me. Once again, I want to stand on order 63, 1, and speak the local language. Pacho, Speaker, Mr. Bisa, a question, Pacho. Akroma, Asante Achimnof na me free. Mfie bebree ni yen kan yansem problem kese pa. Me wadwuma okrom ho na me radio station ho. Na ye hwɛ the way a transform ansem ene empen bebree yen kan ya ni nyina so me kromfo no aka kyerɛ me sɛ ɔmo srɛ me me ne openi nkasa minister nkasa sɛbɛ ya Enfie bebree atwa mu no na Asante Achimnof yen kan yansam nyɛ kra enei Awurade ayadom yenya honorable energy minister ɛwɔ ha aniti de me srane ne sɛ nka obetimi enya ɛyɛ mpanifo bi no ma ba bɛhwɛ Asante Achimnof na ye transform ansem ne yen kan yansam ɛwɔ hɔ ɛde aboaye to wait. I want to thank you for indulging me. The question I want to pose to the minister today is I want to find out if the honorable minister can be able to help Asante Achimnof get a proper solution, a permanent solution to the lighting problem in my constituency. Most often, people complain about the power outages, and then also the fact that, they complain about the energy problem within my constituency, and so I want to alert the minister to please come to the aid of Asante Achimnof so that the power problems we are having in the constituency will be permanently solved. Thank you very much. I appreciate your
Mr. Speaker, our colleague need to understand the rules. Mr. Speaker, if you read Standing Order 63, Mr. Speaker, and if you indulge me, I'll read Standing Order 63.1. They said, the proceedings of Parliament shall ordinarily be conducted in English language, except that a member may exercise the option to address the House in a local language if facilities exist. If facilities exist for the House, Mr. Speaker, I take it again. 63.1. Proceedings of Parliament shall ordinarily be conducted in English, except that a member may exercise the option to address the House in a local language if facilities exist in the House for the interpretation by the member for contemporaneous interpretation. Mr. Speaker, it's clear violation of our standing orders what he has done. We don't have facilities existing to translate language. You could see that the energy minister attempted speaking Gonja. He has started self. And if we don't regulate and continue this, we will end up speaking different languages that we don't understand, and hence that might not be able to capture, save, or interpret. So, Mr. Speaker, you should overrule him because he's completely out of order. He should ask the question in its proper context so that we can be properly regulated on this.
Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity. Speaker, there's a certain deliberate propaganda out there that members of my side, we can't speak English. There's a certain deliberate propaganda. And let the point be made that we have demonstrated the ability to communicate in English, in the English language, at the highest level. The Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
Leader,
Please,
I think you are going outside the discussion.
Speaker, please permit me. My brother, the first deputy minority whip, did this deliberately because this matter was settled The standing order 63-1 that he quoted is placing a twist on the interpretation. Yes, you are placing a twist on the interpretation. And Speaker, this is what the provision says. Standing order 63-1 says, the proceedings of Parliament shall ordinarily, Speaker, please, my brother John Daku, please. It says the proceedings of Parliament shall ordinarily be conducted in English, except that a member may exercise the option to address the House in the local language. Speaker,
You go.
can you listen to me with some patience and please be quiet. Speaker, my brother has elected to exercise that right to address the House in a local language. The provision proceeds further to say that if facilities exist in the House for interpretation by the member or for contemporaneous interpretation. Can you listen? Can you be quiet? This is the facility, Mr. Speaker. This is the facility. Mr. Speaker, the member used this facility to interpret what he said to the hearing of everyone, what he said in the local language. And my brothers on the other side say they have a problem. So this attitude, Mr. Speaker, this attitude of the first deputy minority whip, always stampeding my members when they exercise their right under the law, is unacceptable.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stop.
Thank you.
Honorable members, the member the leave to ask a supplementary question, so the Honorable Minister for Energy and Transitional and Renewable Energy can therefore respond to the question. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Honorable members, please, I gave him the floor. He took my leave and I gave him the floor. He spoke the language, and if even the facilities didn't contemporaneously interpreted it, he did the interpretation himself. So for me, he satisfies 61-3. Let's move on. Minister, you may respond to his question.
Yes, because I started in Gonja, but because of time, I just want to assure. I want to assure my honorable colleague, who has distinguished himself in the English language as well as in the local language, that his constituency will be catered for. Thank you.
Now that I should wait, I will have the last bite. Speaker, with the greatest of respect, if I may.
No. Are you not the one regulating?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, in the minister's response, he said that some contracts were awarded without commencement certificate. He has just told us that there are about 3,000 containers at the port, and demurrage alone has cost this state about 1.5 billion Ghana cedis. Would the minister agree with me? Minister, would you agree with me that these constitute financial loss to the state, and for that matter, the steps that you are taking to ensure
Honorable Deputy Minister Designate.
Yes.
Your question is turned down.
No.
Please.
Okay.
I
I
wouldn't take your question.
Let me reframe it.
I wouldn't take your question.
Let me reframe it, Mr. Speaker. Let me reframe it, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my question is that some contracts were awarded without going through the normal or due processes. And now there are 3,000 containers at the port. I want to find out from the minister whether you will constitute a committee to go into these matters so that corporates will be brought to book.
Mr. Speaker, let me thank the Honorable Samson Ahi for asking this very intelligent and thought-provoking question. Mr. Speaker, let me assure him that we are already investigating it. Thank you.
Yes, finally, come to.
Speaker, a very interesting answer from the minister, describing the question as very intelligent. Speaker, my good friend, the minister, earlier, as part of his answer, I think if it was a question of semantics, he said that the energy sector economy that was inherited, one, he used the word rundown, a rundown energy sector economy as inherited. Then on the latter part of his answer, he says a weakened energy sector of the economy as was inherited. So it is curious to know that as run down and as weakened as the energy sector was, the lights were kept on. Very interesting. And then he went ahead to say that excess power is being exported. Curious. I'm curious to find out from the minister. How are you able to export excess power when you have inherited an energy sector economy you describe as run down and weakened?
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, when you inherit an energy sector in 2017 with a debt of 9 billion and you collect energy sector levies, 45 billion, and you leave President Mahama with an energy sector choking from a debt of 80 billion, that is a rundown energy sector. That is a fact. 45 billion collected to solve a problem of 9 billion, and you hand over an 80 billion debt energy sector, that is rundown. How do you export power? Because when we were leaving office, we left projects like Ameri, AXA, GPGC, and the rest. And because those plants are available and you are unable to supply to the domestic market, because the system is run down, you export it to countries like Burkina. So that is cogent, and that is sacrosanct, that is logical. I am here to answer a question as to why the Kumasi area is been suffering from erratic power supply. And my answer was simple, that system had obsolete equipment, had not been managed well, the system is weakened, that is why there's erratic power supply. But when we inherited it, based on the measures I outlined and enumerated, the sector has seen some remarkable improvement. I thought that my good friend, the Honorable Anodompre, who is leader, would have commended the Mahama administration rather than try to condemn us. Thank you very much. Right, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, we've now done with the urgent